Come game hunting today with me to a flea market in Arkansas where Arkansas Picker actually sells his video games. First off, I ended up seeing this booth that had a few games here and there. But honestly, nothing I had to pick up. These are pretty basic games. Grand Theft Auto 5 was here, which was a decent deal, but you know I already have it. That's on every console. Then this booth had a bunch of reproduction carts here, and then I headed back to the back here and kind of dug through their gaming section here. I looked around for a little bit, but honestly, these games have been thoroughly picked through, so you know I didn't pick anything up because these are the same games since last time I was here. I did see this Minecraft Creeper plush that I kind of wish I would have picked up. Then this next booth had a bunch of Game Boy Advance games, but everything here was just way too overpriced. They did have a Wii Fit in the box for too much money. And then I turned around and there were a bunch of PS1 or Sega Genesis sports games, but it was literally just sports games, nothing that caught my eye or anything. I continued on where I saw this poor looking derpy Pikachu. And then I kept walking where I found this booth that had a few games here and there, but honestly, it was nothing worth picking up. Then I checked out this booth, which did have a bunch of games, but all of these games have been here for a few months. These were here last time I was here, so I decided I didn't need to pick any of these up, so I continued on where I ended up seeing this booth that had a ton of, tubs filled with things, and I ended up seeing this Fallout 76 game, a few other games here and there, like this HD DVD from the Xbox. If you remember that, you know what's up. A few games, like I said, but nothing worth picking up. And that's when I continued on. I saw a few games here. This little Frogger handheld, which caught my eye, which did look pretty amazing, but it was a little too overpriced. Then I got to this booth where I did find Star Wars Jedi Fighter for the PS2 and a few other games I kind of looked through, but these have definitely been picked through. And I went to go grab the Starfighter game and leave, but I opened it up, thankfully, and it ended up not having the disc, which was a complete bummer. So always check the cases. This booth had a few Nintendo Switch things here, a few knockoff controllers for the Genesis, the Super Nintendo, a PS4 headset, and a few other headsets here, but nothing I had to have, so I continued on. I made my way to this booth. There were a few games here that were interesting to me, but they were a little overpriced, and I saw this Wiimote complete in the box, but it was $30, which was just way too expensive, so I left it behind. This Halo Infinite has been here for months on end, as well as this Mario backpack in the back. I think it's pretty cool, but honestly, it's not very good. It's a cheap one, so I left it behind. And then I made my way to the Arkansas Pickers booth. This is not only one booth, it's one booth on one side of the aisle, and then the other side was more awesome stuff. So I started with the booth here on the left. I kind of looked through the glass case here. There's really some good games here, and these are all really good prices as well. A few box games here and there. You've got the display with Deadpool, Super Mario Bros. Melee, and a ton of other great games. There's even a Mario Kart Wii here. And then I made my way to the bottom where I did spot a bunch of GameCube games, and we'll talk about that in a bit when we get to it. But there's some PS2 games, Wii, Wii U, Xbox 360. There was just a ton of games here. Also, if you don't follow or subscribe to Arkansas Pickers channel, you definitely need to. Then I saw this kind of area where he had cheap games, $2 games here. There was Madden 2002 and a Tiger Woods game. I ended up grabbing that Madden game for $2. Definitely not a bad deal there. Then a few consoles here in the middle and this glass case. And then I made my way to the $5 game wall where there was a few games that I got here, But starting off, we had some Xbox 360 games. This Alone in the Dark, anytime I see it, it always catches my eye, but I haven't pulled the trigger and actually got it, which is interesting to me. There's some PS2 games here, Wii U games. There's even some PSP games down here below the PS3 games. I even found a Ice Age 2 for the GameCube for $5. Not a bad deal, and it's complete, I believe. So I ended up grabbing that, which was definitely well worth it. Obviously, again, this is Arkansas Picker's booth. Definitely awesome. If you're in the area, go check it out. Then I ended up finding a few Game Boy Advance games here on the wall that were dirt cheap, like really cheap. And then on the other side of his booth, he had a few more games here, which Katamari Forever for the PS3 caught my eye. A bunch of plushies here that were really cool. I probably kind of wish I would have picked one of those up, but I didn't, which was kind of interesting. I'm not sure why, but it is what it is. I went up to the front to get someone to help me, and then I grabbed some games out of this glass case, and I'm definitely glad that I stopped here because there were some really good games that I grabbed here. But first, I want to talk about the Game Boy Advance games. On the wall, they had Brandon had a bunch of cheap games, which I ended up getting Tac 2 Staff of Dreams and Backyard Skateboarding for $2. The games with their manuals, these were a no-brainer. Like, I could drop $2 on a game and have no problem playing it because I'll really enjoy these on the Game Boy Advance. $2 is nothing. Definitely awesome to see these little things at the front that get people spending money at least. And again, some good games that I don't have that I'll probably enjoy. And then I made it to the glass case where you saw me pick up some good games. Starting off, I did end up grabbing Katamari Forever. This is complete, which is totally awesome. This was $15, and I saw it, and even though I just recently got it in a video, I had to grab it. I'll probably end up keeping both copies for whatever reason, but I saw it, and I was like, okay, cool, I'm gonna grab that. And then I got 6 GameCube games here. I think the cheapest one was $2 and the most expensive one was $12. So I didn't spend a lot of money, but I ended up getting Madden 2002, which is a cheap Madden game, but for $2, again, it's one of those things when I saw it, I was like, I'm gonna buy that. That's dirt cheap. And then same thing with Ice Age 2 The Meltdown. He had this for $5. When I saw it, I was like, okay, there's another. These are 2 GameCube games that are just going to pad my collection, and they're perfect for that. I think anytime I can find a cheap GameCube games that I don't have in the GameCube collection, I'm going to grab them. But then I ended up getting some sort of cheap games. They're more expensive than those $2 games, but they're not really that expensive. And starting off, we've got Need for Speed Hot Pursuit 2. This game was only $8, which it is complete, which is a crazy good deal for that, for sure. Then I ended up getting Spyro Enter the Dragonfly for $10. It's a platinum hit, or a player's choice, but it's still complete. I'm not complaining whatsoever at that. Then, for some reason, I don't know why I grabbed this, to be honest, but I'm not complaining here. I ended up picking up WTA Tour Tennis. Maybe the artwork on the back caught my eye. Honestly, I don't remember why I grabbed this, but I did for $12. I'm not complaining. I don't have it, but also I feel like I'm probably only going to play this like once, and then I'll probably never pick it up again unless it's super fun. And last but not least is Dragon Ball Z Sagas. I only paid $12 for this one, and honestly, all of these GameCube games are good filler for my GameCube collection. They're not super expensive, like $12 is the most I spent here. And I feel like these are definitely awesome games. So I'm glad I stopped by and checked out Arkansas Picker's booth, because otherwise, I wouldn't have bought anything here just plain because the other booths didn't really have anything good. So shout out to Brandon. If you're not following him on YouTube or anywhere else, you need to go check him out. He's on Instagram, Facebook, I think TikTok, all that stuff. Go check him out. He's got some great stuff. And He's got great content and sells games at good prices. If you go to game conventions in the area, he's always hooking it up with deals. So check him out if you're in the area or you are interested in his channel or whatever. But this was some really good stuff, and I'm stoked to go play some of these games. I think the most excited game I'm looking forward to playing is Backyard Skateboarding, which I'm going to go play right now. So I'm getting out of here, so check out that video out right there. But what do you think? Were these games worth picking up? Would you have passed on them? Would you have even gone to this flea market? Comment down below and let me know all that stuff. But I'm getting out of here, so check out that video out if you haven't already.